So in the first part of our physics review, we're going to look at the physics content from Science 10. Tomorrow we'll look at Science 20, or at least our next class we'll look at Science 20, and then the final class of the review we will look at Science 30. So Science 10 has a physics unit that's broken into three general outcomes. The first is analyze and illustrate how technologies based on thermodynamic principles were developed before the laws of thermodynamics were formulated. So, we need to ask ourselves, what are the thermodynamics, right? Well, thermodynamics is all about how energy moves, specifically heat energy. So, we could be looking at anything that pumps heat or has things moving in general. Today, we've got more things like solar panels, right, which will help move heat and energy. Solar panels are based on the photoelectric effect, which we'll go through in great detail in Physics 30. So we've also got any sort of energy, so mechanical energy, chemical, thermal, nuclear. We've got hydroelectric dams. Now, granted, some of those came after the laws of thermodynamics, and once those were developed, we got a much more refined opportunity to work with them. But that was what the first one was all about. So we looked at the James Watt engine, we looked at energies. We were looking at how energy comes from heat and mechanical devices. Now, this is all relevant, it's all important. It's not the biggest push or the most important concept that's going to be showing up from Science 10 in Physics 20 and 30. The bulk of that is the second outcome. So I'm going to be spending just a little bit of time on part 1 and then delving deep into part 2 before again doing another quick one for part 3. But this was the section where we talked about things like the steam engine, which drove trains. And once you had the steam engine, well, that completely opened up long distance travel. So then transportation became much more relevant and much easier to obtain. You didn't need to have to feed a horse to go across Europe if you could just buy a train ticket. It completely changed the economic world in a way that hasn't really happened all that often in history. It's really the train, the radio, and then the internet, I think, are the three key technologies. You could look at television too. That is a step between the radio and the internet. But really, those are the four technologies that started changing the world from a bunch of isolated countries into one global community. We still have further to go in that direction, but it was the steam engine that really started that in the first place. So that's just the cursory overview of the first topic. Then we're going to come back and delve much more deeply into the dealing with energies and mechanical systems from Science 10.